Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're embarking on a truly mind-bending journey, armed with the incredible insights you've shared from our source material, meticulously curated excerpts from Inception, navigating dreams and reality. We're not just here to recap a film. We're going to unpack the intricate layers of Christopher Nolan's iconic masterpiece, Inception.
Yeah.
Not merely as a thrilling story, but as a profound exploration of the very nature of reality, the architecture of the human mind, and the astonishing power of a single idea. It's a film that truly etched itself into the fabric of popular culture, challenging perceptions from its opening frames and inviting, well, endless discussion.
It's an absolutely perfect subject for a deep dive, precisely because it directly confronts questions many of us ponder, perhaps even unconsciously, in our daily lives.
What?
Well, like, what precisely defines reality? How do our perceptions, our most deeply held beliefs, and even our biases actively shape the world we experience moment by moment? And perhaps most profoundly, what happens when those seemingly rigid lines between what's true and what's imagined begin to dissolve? Not just for the characters caught in Nolan's intricate narrative, but for us, the viewers, as well. This film and the compelling sources you've provided truly push us to scrutinize the very foundations of our own existence and perception.
That's it. Our mission today is to extract the most important nuggets of knowledge and surprising insights from this rich material. We're aiming to give you a shortcut to being not just informed, but truly well-informed about Inception's intricate world, its groundbreaking mechanics, and its profound, enduring themes.
We'll dissect the ingenious design of its dreamscapes.
Exactly. Delve into the compelling motivations of its characters and explore the philosophical questions it leaves us grappling with long after the credits roll. So grab your spinning top, let's unpack this. To truly appreciate Inception, we have to start where our source material begins, with the core concept that sets up Christopher Nolan's groundbreaking 2010 film. We're immediately introduced to Dom Cobb, played by the formidable Leonardo DiCaprio, and his incredibly specialized profession.
Yeah.
He's not your average industrial spy, is he?
Yeah.
What exactly is his unique expertise that drives this entire narrative?
What's truly fascinating and quite audacious is the film's central premise of extraction, a concept that immediately redefines the very notion of theft as we understand it.
Okay.
We're not talking about stealing physical goods like jewels from a vault or digital data from a server. Instead, Cobb's unparalleled expertise lies in retrieving highly sensitive, confidential secrets directly from a person's subconscious mind while they are in their most vulnerable, unguarded state, deep within a dream. And this isn't some mere fantastical element. The source material grounds it in a near-future setting, explicitly mentioning the existence of advanced military dream-sharing technology.
Oh, right.
This establishes a world where the mind itself is no longer an impenetrable sanctuary, but rather the ultimate vault, ripe for infiltration and the target of a burgeoning, highly lucrative form of psychological espionage.
So if I'm understanding this correctly, Cobb is essentially a psychic spy, an infiltrator of the innermost sanctum of the human mind. He navigates the intricate, often chaotic mazes of someone's sleeping thoughts to pull out their most guarded information.
Pretty much, yeah.
But the sources also paint him as a man driven by more than just professional skill. He's a fugitive, unable to set foot in his own country. What's the personal cost that pushes him through these incredibly dangerous, mind-bending missions? What's his ultimate drive beyond just being brilliant at what he does?
This immediately raises a profoundly important question about motivation, which is absolutely critical to understanding Cobb's character and, frankly, the entire emotional weight of Inception. Our source material makes it devastatingly clear. Cobb is unable to return to his children in the U.S. because he stands accused of murdering his wife, Mal.
Oh.
This isn't just a plot device. It's a profound, deeply personal tragedy that haunts his every waking moment and, as we'll see, pervades his dreams. His desperate, almost primal longing to go home, to be reunited with his children, isn't just a simple goal.
No.
It provides the core emotional stakes for his character, elevating the film far beyond a clever, intricate heist story. It transforms into a complex journey fueled by immense guilt, a pervasive sense of loss, and an almost desperate yearning for redemption.
So every risk he takes.
Exactly. Every decision he makes, every perilous risk he takes in the dream world is ultimately tethered to this deeply personal objective of returning to his family.
That emotional hook truly grounds the high-concept premise. Now, the game completely changes. After a failed extraction attempt on a powerful, shrewd businessman named Saito, Cobb finds himself in an unexpected position.
Yeah, you'd expect things to go badly for him there.
Right. Instead of facing retaliation, he's given an offer he seemingly can't refuse. But it's not another extraction. It's something far more complex, ambitious, and seemingly impossible. Inception.
Mm-hmm.
This is where the film really earns its title, isn't it?
Yeah.
It moves beyond simply stealing information to actively shaping reality itself.
From a conceptual standpoint, Inception is the profound, almost philosophical inverse of extraction. While extraction is about taking something out, illicit information, a closely held secret,
Yeah.
Inception is the intricate, delicate art of subtly planting an idea into someone's mind. And the subtlety is key here.
How so?
The idea must be inserted so deeply, so cleverly, that the target genuinely comes to believe it's their own original thought. This isn't just about simple influence or persuasion, like a captivating sales pitch.
No.
It's about fundamentally reshaping internal conviction, about engineering a paradigm shift within a person's consciousness, making them internalize a concept as if it originated entirely from their own intellect and desire. It bypasses all defenses because the mind isn't fighting an external attack, it's embracing what it believes to be its own unique discovery.
And the target for this unprecedented, almost unheard of operation, Robert Fischer Jr., the unsuspecting heir to a massive corporate empire.
Right, the son of Saito's competitor.
Exactly. The mission, as meticulously detailed in our source, is incredibly specific and comes with stratospheric stakes to convince Fisher to dissolve his late father's company.
Which, conveniently for Saito, would directly benefit his business interests, essentially neutralizing a major competitor without anyone ever knowing how or why.
And for Cobb, the personal stakes couldn't be higher. Saito offers him the ultimate prize in exchange for success. He will use his considerable influence to clear Cobb's criminal charges, allowing him to finally return home to his children.
The proposition is undeniably enticing, almost irresistibly so for Cobb. It taps into his deepest, most desperate desire, transforming this complex corporate espionage into a profoundly personal quest.
Yeah, it's the one thing he wants more than anything.
The source material highlights this perfectly. The promise of home, of family, is the singular leverage that compels Cobb to accept an operation widely considered impossible inception. This personal motivation is the very engine driving the entire perilous mission.
Right.
It transforms the high-concept sci-fi narrative into a resonating story of longing, belonging, and the desperate search for redemption. It's not just a job, it's a gamble for his soul and his future.
To pull off a feat like Inception, something so audacious, so complex, you can't just wing it. Cobb needs a highly specialized team, almost like a commando unit for the subconscious.
Yeah, absolutely.
Our source introduces us to these key players, each equipped with a unique and absolutely indispensable skill set, vital for navigating the labyrinthine complexities of the dream world. It's not just a collection of individuals, it's a perfectly calibrated machine, each part essential for the whole.
This indeed highlights the extraordinary level of careful planning and the precise division of labor required for such a complex, multi-layered operation. It underscores that Inception is far from a solo endeavor, demanding a symphony of specialized talents.
So who's first?
Firstly, we have Arthur, Cobb's longtime associate, who functions as the point man for the mission.
Okay, the logistics guy.
Exactly.
Right.
He's the meticulous planner, the one responsible for the intricate logistics, ensuring everything is structured, synchronized, and precisely executed. His unwavering attention to detail and his methodical approach are absolutely essential for maintaining order within the chaotic and fluid nature of the dream states.
The anchor, basically.
He's the anchor in the storm of the subconscious, yeah. Anticipating every contingency and ensuring the team's path through the dream is viable.
And then we meet Ariadne, the young architect. Her role feels absolutely crucial, doesn't it? She's the one literally building the reality they'll be operating in, brick by mental brick, shaping the very environment and emotional landscape.
Oh, definitely.
Without her, there's no stage for this entire elaborate operation.
Her role is, without a doubt, one of the most critical. Ariadne is the creative genius who designs the intricate, sprawling, and believable dream worlds they will inhabit.
Like the folding city streets.
Right. Her architectural creativity and profound understanding of subconscious landscapes are paramount. She constructs not just the physical environments, the twisting streets of a city, or the detailed corridors of a hotel, but also the narrative, scaffolding, and emotional resonance of the simulated reality that the team will use to manipulate Fisher.
So she builds the maze.
She builds the maze, yeah. Without a convincing, stable, and functionally navigable dream architecture, the entire operation would simply collapse into incoherent chaos.
Okay. Who else?
Next, we have Ames, the forger, who possesses the uncanny ability to shapeshift and impersonate others within dreams.
Ah, Tom Hardy's character.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Invaluable skill for deception and psychological manipulation. He can become anyone Fisher's godfather, a trusted associate, or even a complete stranger, allowing the team to introduce characters or situations that can directly influence the target's perception and behavior without arousing suspicion.
He's the actor in the dream.
He's the master of disguise and psychological warfare within the dream, yes, capable of delivering crucial lines or performing actions that nudge Fisher towards the desired idea.
And no deep dive into the subconscious would be complete without the right tools to get them there and keep them there for such an extended, perilous mission. Yusuf, the chemist, is indispensable.
Right, the sedatives.
Concocting the powerful sedatives needed for plunging into these deep, multi-layered dreams. This isn't just about knocking someone out, is it? It's about maintaining a stable, prolonged dream state across multiple layers, which sounds like an incredibly precise and dangerous chemical feat.
Precisely. Yusuf's specialized sedatives are custom engineered for this specific purpose, strong enough to maintain a deep, stable, multi-layered dream state without risking physiological collapse.
Okay.
The depth of their penetration into the subconscious requires narcotics far beyond anything found in standard medicine, allowing them to remain submerged for what can feel like decades within the dream layers, even if only minutes pass in reality.
Wow, decades. And finally,
Saito, the man who hired them, insists on joining them inside the dream as oversight.
the client wants to watch.
Well, highly
Nasky.
Exactly. This decision, while understandable from his perspective, adds another significant layer of complexity and risk to the entire venture. Saito is not a trained operative, making him a potential liability in the volatile dream world, a civilian in a war zone.
Okay.
This meticulous, almost obsessive team selection and consideration of every variable underscores the monumental challenge of the mission, highlighting that every single role, every nuance, every potential risk is indispensable for even a remote chance of success.
It's a testament to the sheer impossibility of the task.
And the genius required to even attempt it.
Yeah. Before we plunge headfirst into the mission itself, we absolutely need to grasp the elaborate rules of the game as outlined in our source. This isn't just about falling asleep. It's about navigating a meticulously constructed, inherently dangerous reality within a reality, where the very fabric of existence can be bent, stretched, and even broken. It's a high-stakes game where understanding and adhering to these rules literally determines whether you wake up or get lost forever.
What's truly fascinating here is how the film meticulously establishes its own internal, almost scientific logic for dream mechanics. It creates a believable, albeit fantastical, framework for its intricate plot.
Right, it feels thought out.
The mission, as detailed, involved 3 levels of dreams within dreams. A hierarchy of subconsciousness that is almost dizzying in its complexity.
Dream within a dream within a dream.
Exactly. This layered structure fundamentally necessitates the use of Yusuf's powerful sedation, designed not just to induce sleep, but to sustain these distinct, nested realities, and crucially, to maintain perfect synchronization among the team members for a successful kick back to reality.
Okay, the kick. We'll get to that.
Without these precise conditions and adherence to the dream architecture, the transition between dream layers would be impossible, and the entire premise of Inception would simply collapse. This foundational aspect of the film's world building is crucial for understanding the immense challenges and calculated risks the team faces.
And the deeper they descend into these layers, the more distorted reality becomes, both physically and, even more strikingly, temporally, right?
Oh, definitely.
It's not just a longer journey, it's a completely different experience of time itself, which is mind-bending to even contemplate.
Precisely. Our source highlights a key mind-bending rule. Time slows exponentially with each deeper dream level. Exponentially. This isn't just a minor detail or a clever plot device. It's a critical mechanical principle that profoundly amplifies the tension and plays with our own perception of time and memory in a deeply unsettling way.
Give us an idea of the scale.
Consider this. A few minutes in the real world can translate into hours or even days within the first dream level, and then weeks, months, or even decades in the deepest layers.
Decades, my God.
This extreme temporal distortion means that even a brief interaction in waking life can become an epic, years-long journey within the layered dreams. This allows for complex narratives to unfold and character arcs to develop in what seems like compressed real time to the audience, but feels like a lifetime to the characters.
Right.
It forces both the characters and us, the audience, to continually reorient our understanding of time's passage and its subjective nature.
But there's an even more terrifying consequence for doing so deep, isn't there? It's not just about getting lost in time. It's about losing your mind, your very self, potentially forever.
Yeah.
A fate worse than death in some ways.
This raises a truly profound question about risk, and it introduces the film's ultimate existential threat, what the source material describes as limbo.
Limbo.
Due to the incredibly strong sedative required to sustain these deep, multi-layered dreams, death within these dream states no longer functions as a kick to wake them up.
So dying doesn't save you.
No. Instead, they risk falling into limbo, a raw, formless subconscious realm where time stretches endlessly, unmoored from any conventional sense of progression. It's a kind of permanent cognitive purgatory, a place of pure, unfiltered subconsciousness where one's identity can dissolve into an eternal, unmoored existence.
Like your mind just unravels.
Essentially, it's an empty canvas that can become anything or nothing. This terrifying prospect underscores the monumental stakes of the mission and adds a layer of profound psychological horror to the already high-pressure scenario. It's not merely a failure of the mission, it's the potential permanent loss of one's mind and soul.
And given all these dangers, all this temporal distortion and the ultimate threat of limbo, how do they tell if they're actually in a dream or awake? How do they anchor themselves to what's real when everything around them could be an illusion?
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question.
A product of their own minds or someone else's design? This seems like the most critical piece of equipment that they could carry.
This is where the concept of the totem comes in. Each member carries a totem, a unique, personal object that helps them distinguish dream from reality.
Okay.
The source emphasizes this crucial detail, illustrating how even the most experienced dream infiltrators, those who architect and navigate these complex realities, need a constant, tangible point of reference. Cobb's totem, for instance, is a small, weighted, spinning top.
The famous bell.
The rule is simple. If it spins forever without toppling, he knows he's still dreaming. If it eventually falls, he's awake in the real world. These totems are not just clever narrative devices.
No, they symbolize something deeper.
They powerfully symbolize the constant underlying question of what is real, profound philosophical theme that resonates throughout the entire film. They are deeply personal anchors in a fluid, deceptive reality, representing the individual's desperate struggle to maintain their grip on objective truth in a world where perception is constantly shifting and where a false reality can feel utterly indistinguishable from the real one.
So the totem is the only thing they can trust.
It's the only absolute certainty in a landscape of infinite possibility and manipulation.
Yeah. With the complex rules established and the specialized team meticulously assembled, the actual heist begins. Our source material takes us through the intricate, escalating unfolding of the mission, starting subtly on a commercial plane. This is where the real deep dive into Fisher Jr.'s mind truly begins, setting the stage for a mind-bending journey through his subconscious and ours.
The initial entry point, the setting of the plane en route to Los Angeles, is absolutely crucial for establishing the believability and the logistical genius of the setup.
Right, it seems normal.
It provides a mundane, unsuspecting context for the powerful sedative to take effect, allowing the team to plunge into Fisher's subconscious without immediate suspicion or resistance. This seemingly ordinary journey rapidly transforms into a meticulously orchestrated descent into the deeper layers of his mind.
And Yusuf is the dreamer here.
The sources note that Yusuf, the chemist and sedative expert, is designated as the dreamer for the first level. His specific expertise with these powerful, custom-engineered sedatives allows for the necessary deep plunge that can be sustained for the duration of a long flight, providing the initial, stable platform for the complex Inception operation to unfold without external disruption. This careful choice of dreamer for each level is a testament to the precise and strategic planning that goes into managing the delicate and volatile dream architecture. Dream level 1, the rainy city. Dreamer, Yusuf.
So once they're in this rainy, bustling cityscape, the very first layer of the dream, Yusuf's dream, what happens first? How do they begin to manipulate Fisher and set the initial stage for the deeper layers of his subconscious?
In this first dream level, the team initiates a fabricated kidnapping scenario.
Classic heist move.
Exactly. This is designed to immediately disorient Fisher and draw him into their manufactured narrative, making him a central, unwitting participant. This isn't just random chaos, it's a carefully orchestrated event meant to immerse him fully in their controlled reality.
But it doesn't go smoothly.
No. A major unforeseen complication immediately arises, one the team couldn't have fully anticipated. They are violently attacked by Fisher's subconscious security projections.
His mind's defenses.
Think of them as his mind's built-in immune system, manifesting as armed guards, mercenaries, or even familiar faces, specifically designed to fend off intruders and protect his most valuable thoughts.
So he was expecting this, or his mind was.
This unexpected, formidable resistance immediately indicates that Fisher has been specifically trained against extraction, making their task far more difficult and dangerous than they could have imagined. His mind is not an open book, it's a fortified fortress.
And in the midst of this escalating chaos, Saito, the man who hired them and insisted on joining the mission, gets shot here. That's a huge, devastating problem, especially given the rules you just laid out about limbo and the extreme sedation. It seems like a catastrophic setback so early in the operation.
Indeed, Saito being injured so early in this first level is a critical turning point and significantly escalates the stakes for the entire team. Because of the powerful sedative Yusuf concocted, remember, it's designed to keep them deeply submerged, not easily woken.
Right, death doesn't wake you.
His death within these dream states will not simply kick him back to waking reality. Instead, it will send him straight into the perilous, endless void of limbo.
So now they have to save him and do the Inception.
Exactly. This immediately adds an unforeseen, incredibly urgent objective to their already complex mission, not just to complete the Inception, but now also to ensure Saito's survival or, if he falls, to retrieve him from limbo. Following this initial chaotic encounter and with Saito severely wounded, they then put Fisher to sleep inside this dream to descend even further into his subconscious.
Deeper they go.
Initiating the next layer of their intricate, multi-tiered operation, even as the first level is still collapsing around them, due now to the chaos and the need for a kick to the next level. Dream level 2, the hotel, Dreamer, Arthur.
Now they're in Arthur's dream. A lavish, sprawling hotel. It's a completely different environment designed for a different, more subtle kind of manipulation. How do they continue the manipulation here, refining their approach?
In this sophisticated, seemingly opulent setting, Eames, the forger, truly leverages his unique skill by seamlessly posing as a key dream character in this case, Fisher's godfather, Peter Browning.
Ah, the impersonation.
This is where the brilliance of Inception begins to truly shine through in a subtle and profoundly psychological way. They trick Fisher into believing that he must protect his mind from an internal threat specifically, that his father's will contains secrets that Browning or other parts of his mind might exploit.
Okay, so they're turning him against himself, sort of.
This clever tactic effectively turns Fisher into a willing, albeit unwitting, participant in their own plan to plant the idea. Instead of resisting an external attack, he becomes an active agent in his own psychological re-engineering, which is a masterstroke of psychological manipulation within the dream.
That's clever.
The entire environment and character interactions are designed to guide his belief.
So they're basically making him think that their idea is his own solution, that he needs to confront something within himself rather than being told what to do. They're guiding him to his own conclusion, making him feel like he's solving his own problem. That's incredibly insidious and brilliant.
Exactly. They stage a meticulously crafted scenario where he must descend even deeper into his subconscious to confront a fabricated projection of his father. This not only reinforces the manufactured internal threat, but further solidifies the emotional conflict they wish to exploit, the unresolved tension between Fisher and his distant, demanding father. The elegance of this strategy lies in its psychological depth. It bypasses direct suggestion and instead fosters a profound sense of self-generated insight.
So he thinks it's his idea to go deeper.
By the time he reaches the deepest level, he believes he is actively pursuing a personal revelation, laying the groundwork for the core idea to take root naturally and organically within his mind as he continues to descend through the layers of his subconscious. Arthur, as the dreamer, plays a critical role in controlling the environment, ensuring the dream remains stable despite the internal conflict they are creating within Fisher's mind.
Keeping the hotel from falling apart.
A subtle dance of control and psychological nudging.
Yeah.
Dream level 3, the ice fortress. Dreamer.
This is it then. The critical stage, the deepest level. Ames' dream of a snowy mountain hospital fortress.
The fortress, yeah.
This is where the core idea must be planted, the culmination of all their elaborate planning, manipulation, and deception. This is the make-or-break moment for the entire operation, correct?
This is indeed the absolute climax of the Inception operation, the point of no return where the ultimate objective must be achieved. Here, the team faces their most intense challenge. They must fight off an onslaught of fierce subconscious projections.
Fisher's mental army.
These aren't just generic guards. These are Fisher's formidable mental defenses, now amplified by the sheer depth of the dream. Imagine his mind's last, desperate effort to protect its most cherished beliefs and memories, manifesting as an army of armed figures. Simultaneously, amidst this escalating battle, they must meticulously guide Fisher towards the symbolic vault, where the idea is to be embedded. The intense chaos of the battle underscores the immense difficulty of maintaining control and precision at such a profound level of the subconscious. It's a race against time and against Fisher's own mind.
And the sources tell us Fisher finally reaches a vault where he encounters a dying vision of his father who delivers the pivotal line. "I was disappointed you tried to be me." This isn't just a line of dialogue, is it? This is the heart of the Inception, the exact point where the carefully constructed idea is finally inserted. What's happening in this moment and what makes it so effective?
This is the absolute aha moment for Fisher, and profoundly for us, the audience. This carefully planted memory, delivered by a powerful yet vulnerable paternal projection, is the keystone of the entire operation. The words, "I was disappointed you tried to be me," are incredibly subtle but profoundly powerful. They don't tell him what to do, they simply provide a new lens through which he can reevaluate his entire relationship with his father's legacy.
So it reframes everything for him.
This seemingly personal revelation subtly cements the core idea. Fisher should create something new, forge his own path, rather than simply replicating or taking over his late father's massive corporate empire. It's the subtle shift in perspective that Inception aims for, a profound internal realization that feels entirely organic to Fisher, yet was meticulously engineered by the team.
Wow. And meanwhile?
Saito.
Meanwhile, during this chaotic sequence, as the team struggles to complete their mission, Saito, who was critically injured back in level 1, succumbs to his wounds within the dream. His mind, unable to sustain the shock and the sedative's depth, dies in the dream,
Oh no.
confirming his fall into the perilous, endless realm of limbo. This development significantly raises the stakes, transforming their complex Inception objective into a desperate rescue mission. So, Saito is lost, seemingly forever, in limbo, that terrifying realm of the raw subconscious. Our source material explains that Cobb and Ariadne then have to descend into this terrifying, formless realm to retrieve both Fisher, who has now fully internalized his Inception, and the lost Saito.
Right, they have to go even deeper.
But this level is more than just a setting for a rescue. It's where we finally, chillingly, uncover Cobb's deepest, most tragic secret, the one that has been subtly haunting and sabotaging him throughout the entire film.
This raises an immediate and critical question. What exactly is limbo? Our source describes it as a raw, utterly formless subconscious realm.
Formless, like nothing's there.
It's a vast, empty canvas where thoughts and memories manifest unfiltered and where the passage of time stretches endlessly, unmoored from any conventional sense of progression. It's a place of creation and decay, utterly detached from objective reality, and where minds, once fallen, can become lost forever, dissolving into a state of permanent confusion and disorientation.
That sounds terrifying.
It's the ultimate danger for a dream infiltrator, a trap of the mind that can become an eternal, self-created prison, where the only limit is your imagination and your ability to retain your sense of self.
And Cobb knows this place intimately, doesn't he? He's not just a stranger venturing into uncharted territory. He has a deeply personal and truly tragic history with limbo that explains so much of his character's driving motivations.
Yes, and this is where the personal stakes become incredibly, almost unbearably high for Cobb, grounding the fantastical narrative in profound human drama.
Okay, what happened?
We learn the devastating truth that Cobb and Mal, his deceased wife, had previously spent an astonishing 50 years together in limbo during a past mission.
50 years inside a dream.
50 subjective years, yes. They didn't just visit, they built a full life there, constructing their own world, experiencing a lifetime of shared memories and experiences. This created a reality so vivid, so compelling, and so complete that it became incredibly difficult for either of them to believe it wasn't real,
Making it hard to leave.
making their return to the waking world almost impossible without drastic measures. This profound shared experience in limbo highlights the immense psychological danger of the realm, illustrating how deeply one can lose touch with true reality, confusing a self-created illusion for objective truth.
But Cobb did something truly terrible to bring Mal back from that shared limbo, something that, with cruel irony, ultimately led to her tragic demise in the real world. This is the unaddressed source of his profound guilt, the specter that constantly pursues him through his dreams. What exactly did he do?
What's profoundly fascinating and heartbreaking, here is the core irony of Cobb's actions. He used Inception on Mal to bring her back to reality.
He used Inception on his own wife.
In a desperate, misguided attempt to convince her to wake up from limbo, he planted the idea that this world is not real.
Oh no.
This seemingly benign act, intended to save her life and bring her back to their children, tragically followed Mal back into real life. She genuinely believed that waking reality was still a dream, a persistent hallucination that she needed to escape from.
So the Inception worked too well.
Tragically, yes. In a desperate and misguided attempt to force Cobb to wake up to what she perceived as true reality, which to her was limbo, she killed herself, and tragically framed Cobb for her murder, believing it was the only way for both of them to escape the dream of their waking lives.
That's devastating.
This devastating revelation recontextualizes all of Cobb's actions, his relentless nightmares, and his crushing burden of guilt, making his entire journey a desperate quest for absolution from his own past.
So her projection, the manifestation of Mal that constantly haunts Cobb's dreams throughout the film, sabotaging his missions and pushing him towards oblivion,
Yeah, Marion Cotillard's character.
is a direct, visceral manifestation of his own guilt, his unresolved grief, and the profound trauma he carries from her death. It's not just an external threat, but a constant internal torment, a psychological wound made manifest.
Exactly. Her projection is the embodiment of his unaddressed psychological wounds, the physical manifestation of his conscience and regret. In limbo, the deepest reaches of his own subconscious, Cobb finally confronts Mal's projection.
He has to face her.
He acknowledges his profound guilt, finally accepting responsibility for his actions, and in a truly profound and cathartic moment, he lets go of the distorted reality he'd clung to, the false hope of bringing her back.
That's huge for him.
It's a crucial, agonizing step in his personal redemption arc, breaking the cycle of self-deception, while Ariadne successfully rescues Fischer, who has now fully internalized the Inception idea and is ready to be kicked back, and returns him to the other dream layers.
Right. Gets him out.
Cobb chooses to stay behind in limbo. He's determined to find Saito, reflecting his unwavering commitment to the mission, the deal they made, and ultimately his own path toward true resolution and redemption.
He can't leave Saito behind.
This decision to stay underscores his transformation from a man driven solely by escape to one who takes responsibility for his past actions and strives for a true, earned resolution.
After all that deep dreaming chaos, the emotional reckoning in limbo, and the successful planting of the idea, how does everyone manage to get back to reality? Our source describes a meticulously synchronized process called kicks.
Right, the kicks.
That sounds incredibly complicated. A finely tuned ballet of chaos designed to pull them out of multiple layers of dreaming and back into waking life.
This sequence truly showcases the meticulous choreography and precise timing required for a successful extraction from such deep, multi-layered dream states. The layers collapse in a carefully orchestrated sequence as the team synchronizes these kicks, sudden, impactful movements designed to awaken them across all dream levels simultaneously.
Like a domino effect upwards.
Exactly. A kick in one level cascades upwards, sending a jolt through the dreamer's mind, creating that domino effect. For example, the sources detail that the team arranges a massive explosion in the hotel level, timed precisely with a van crashing into a river in the city level.
Okay, so multiple things happening at once.
It's a complex, cascading series of sensory shocks where each action must be perfectly timed to avoid trapping someone in a deeper layer or inadvertently sending them into the terrifying abyss of limbo. The success of the entire mission hinges entirely on this perfect, perilous synchronization.
Wow.
A near impossible feat of coordination under extreme psychological duress.
So we witness Ariadne and Fischer plunging from a building in limbo, a literal leap of faith. Arthur meticulously blows up an elevator in the hotel level, creating a feeling of freefall.
That amazing zero-gravity fight scene happens because of the kick above it.
Right. And Yusuf crashes the van into the river in the city level, providing that sudden jolt of falling into water. It's a beautifully orchestrated, incredibly intense, and surprisingly violent domino effect across all the different dreamscapes.
Each kick is designed to be jarring enough to wake them, but not so extreme as to cause lasting mental or psychological damage.
It's a fine line.
These actions are carefully chosen to be significant sensory shocks within each dream layer, providing the necessary jolt for awakening without harming the dreamer. The combined physical and emotional jolts are critical. Meanwhile, back in Limbo,
Cobb and Saito.
Cobb has found Saito. Saito appears aged and lost, a direct, haunting consequence of the extended, unmoored passage of time in that raw, subconscious realm.
Right, time moves differently there.
Cobb reminds him of their mission and the deal they made, the promise of his return home, the life he left behind. The implication is they both reach for a gun, and in a final, shared act of faith in the mission's success and their return to reality, they kill themselves.
The ultimate kick.
The ultimate kick, a desperate, simultaneous gamble to escape the endless void of limbo and complete their journey back to the waking world, a shared act of will to reclaim their lives.
And then, after all the layers collapse and the synchronized kicks are complete, we arrive at what has become one of the most debated, discussed, and analyzed endings in cinematic history.
Oh, yes. The ending.
Cobb awakens on the plane, seemingly successful. Immigration clears him. He's home in Los Angeles, finally reunited with his children. It feels like a moment of pure triumph, catharsis, and immense relief.
You feel like, okay, he made it.
But before rushing to embrace them, he does one last, seemingly simple thing that leaves us all questioning. A single, unforgettable image that has fueled countless discussions for over a decade.
This final scene raises an intensely profound question about perception and trust, not just for Cobb, but for us, the audience, in a deliberate, masterful way.
He spins the top.
He spins his totem, the top on the table. It spins, and our source notes it wobbles slightly, but the camera cuts to black before we definitively see it fall,
Leaving us hanging.
This unresolved, open-ended moment is the film's ultimate challenge to the viewer, forcing you to ask, was it truly real, or was it still a dream? This profound ambiguity is precisely what makes the ending so powerful, so enduring, and so iconic,
Yeah.
transforming the film into a philosophical query rather than just a straightforward narrative conclusion. Nolan deliberately denies the audience absolute certainty, mirroring the very themes of reality versus illusion that permeate the entire story.
So he leaves it up to us.
It forces you to consider what you choose to believe and whether that certainty or lack thereof truly matters in the face of what feels like true happiness and reconciliation.
This deep dive wouldn't be complete without pulling back from the plot mechanics and looking at the bigger picture. The profound themes and lasting legacy of Inception. Our source material outlines several key interpretations that truly elevate this film beyond just a clever thriller into something far more intellectually and emotionally resonant.
Absolutely. The most prominent theme, as highlighted by our source, is reality versus illusion.
That's the big one.
This isn't just a plot device, it's the very fabric of the film's existence. Nolan doesn't just show us characters questioning their reality, he masterfully makes you, the viewer, question your own.
How so?
Think about the subtle visual cues throughout the film, the fleeting glimpse of a spinning top, the way a scene suddenly shifts without overt warning, the architectural impossibilities like the Penrose stairs.
Yeah, those impossible shapes.
These aren't just narrative tricks, but deliberate psychological manipulations designed to mirror the unsettling feeling of waking up and not being sure if it was truly a dream. It challenges us to consider how much of our own reality is constructed by our perceptions, our memories, and our biases, much like the meticulously built dreamscapes, inviting introspection into our own cognitive processes.
It's a puzzle box that asks us to constantly examine our own reality, prompting that deep introspection. And then there's Cobb's deeply personal journey, which is far more than just a convenient plot device to move the story along.
Yeah.
It feels like the emotional core of the film.
Indeed. Guilt and redemption is central to Cobb's entire arc, lending immense emotional weight to the high-concept sci-fi.
Right, his struggle with Mal.
His entire journey throughout the film, the perils he faces, the risks he takes in the volatile dream world, are fundamentally about confronting his past. Specifically, he must come to terms with his tragic actions concerning Mal, and ultimately find a way to forgive himself for a choice he made out of love and desperation.
It's about him finding peace.
This deeply personal struggle, his yearning for atonement and a return to his children, anchors the high concept narrative in universal human emotion. It makes his seemingly fantastical quest relatable to anyone who has ever wrestled with regret, lost love, or the desire to overcome past mistakes and find a measure of peace.
Yeah.
His redemption isn't just external, it's a profound internal shift, achieved by facing his inner demons rather than esteeping them.
And the very core of the film, the mission itself, the audacious act of inception, speaks to a powerful, almost terrifying idea. The power of ideas.
Oh, absolutely.
It demonstrates how a single thought, however subtly placed, can change everything about a person's life.
This is arguably the film's fundamental thesis, and it's a profoundly impactful one. Inception vividly demonstrates how even the smallest, most subtly planted idea can profoundly shape a person's destiny, influencing their choices, altering their perceptions, and ultimately redirecting their entire life's trajectory.
Like a virus, as Cobb says.
Exactly. It makes you consider the immense impact of every thought, every belief, and how easily they can be influenced or even created from an external force. The film implies that ideas are the most powerful and potentially dangerous force in the human mind, capable of altering one's entire trajectory and understanding of self. It's essentially a grand cinematic illustration of just how vulnerable our deepest convictions can be, and how potent the right idea at the right time can be for shaping the world.
And the way time works in the dream world, that exponential dilation and compression isn't just a clever mechanic that allows for multiple layers. It's another fascinating theme, time and perception.
Right. It's not just about plot.
It's a commentary on how we experience time itself.
The exponential slowing of time in each successive dream level isn't merely a complex plot device. It's a brilliant narrative choice that deeply mirrors how memory, intense emotion, and deep focus can warp our own sense of reality and the passage of time in waking life.
Like when you're having fun, time flies.
Exactly. Or when you're bored, it drags. Think about how a thrilling, absorbing moment seems to fly by in an instant, or how a difficult, monotonous period can drag on endlessly. The film externalizes this often unconscious internal experience, making abstract concepts of subjective time remarkably relatable and tangible for the audience.
That's a great point.
It's a masterclass in using narrative structure to explore philosophical concepts of temporality and the profoundly subjective nature of human experience, blurring the line between physical and psychological time.
Finally, let's talk about Inception's legacy. It was a massive success, wasn't it? It truly broke new ground both commercially and artistically, proving that audiences were hungry for complex, original blockbusters.
Absolutely. Our source confirms it was both a critical and commercial phenomenon, a truly rare feat for such an ambitious and intellectually demanding film.
Yeah, it made a lot of money, but people loved it too.
It garnered significant accolades, winning 4 Academy Awards, including highly prestigious categories like Best Cinematography and Best Visual Effects, which speaks volumes about its unparalleled technical prowess and innovative visual storytelling.
It's amazing.
It was widely praised for its sheer originality, its breathtaking visual spectacle, and its incredibly layered, intricate storytelling that practically invited, demanded, even repeated viewings and deep analytical discussion.
You definitely need to watch it more than once.
It truly set a new bar for intelligent, high-concept blockbusters, demonstrating that audiences crave more than just explosions. They crave a compelling mystery that engages their minds.
And of course, that ending, the one we just discussed, the spinning top, that single unresolved moment has ensured its permanent, almost mythological place in cinematic history. It's truly a conversation starter.
The ending remains one of the most debated and discussed in film history, fostering endless speculation and prompting countless rewatches as viewers attempt to decipher its true meaning.
Is it real? Is it a dream?
Ultimately, Inception is not just a clever heist film or a visual spectacle. It's described by our sources as a cinematic exploration of the subconscious, a deep dive into memory, loss, and the very nature of belief itself, all wrapped in a thrilling, high-stakes narrative. It truly invites the viewer to step into Cobb's shoes and ask a deeply provocative question. If you had everything you ever wanted, if you achieved your deepest desire and found perfect peace, would it truly matter if that reality were provably real or just the most perfectly constructed dream?
Wow.
It leaves you questioning the very nature of your own contentment and the reality you choose to accept.
What an incredible deep dive into Inception. From the intricate, mind-bending rules of dream sharing to the profound emotional core of Cobb's desperate journey for redemption. It's abundantly clear why this film continues to captivate audiences and spark endless debate nearly a decade and a half after its release.
Yeah, it really holds up.
It's a testament to powerful storytelling, audacious vision, and the enduring allure of a truly original idea.
This deep dive into your sources truly shows that Inception is far more than just a clever plot or a dazzling visual spectacle. It's a profound philosophical inquiry into the nature of our own minds, the fragility of perception, and the intricate reality we construct around us. It challenges us to look inward and rigorously examine the very foundations of our own understanding of what is real.
As we wrap up this journey through the layers of Inception, consider this provocative thought, directly inspired by the core concept of this incredible film. If an idea, once subtly planted, can change a person's entire life, shaping their decisions, their perceptions, and their destiny,
Yeah.
how much of what you believe and how you act is truly your own original thought? And how much has been subtly inceptioned by the world around you, by your experiences, your culture, your education, the media you consume, or even the unexamined assumptions of those you trust?
That's a heavy one.
It's something to mull over as you navigate your own complex, constructed reality. Until next time, keep exploring.